please don't forget to smash that like button, comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share this video. You can also check the description of this video and you'll find my compiled link featuring my Patreon, my trade binder, TCG player affiliate link, Discord, Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok. So check all that out, and I will see you in the video. How's it going, everybody? CJ here, back with another video. We're doing another first thoughts today. We're doing a first thoughts on Drizzt Do Erden. Before we hop into that, though, remember we get the giveaway going on. So if you want to win this sweet signed Dingus Highlander playmat, along with some nice signed singles for EDH, all you gotta do is check the description of this video, and there's a giveaway video linked in there, and that'll tell you how to enter. Really, really easy to enter, so check that out. And we're gonna hop into this. So Drizzt Do Erden, interesting card here. It's Selesnya, but it has to do with creatures dying. He gets bigger if a creature bigger than him dies, which is cool. And it's 5 mana for essentially 10 power because of the token and the double strike, which is really powerful. Like, this card is a really good rate. This thing is going to be strong, but it's going to be a good commander. That's what we're here to talk about, and I think it's got some very powerful synergies. So, I'm going to be going through this, starting with an infinite combo that works really well with him. Then I'm going to be talking about some big creatures that are at low CMC that will help to boost them up in power. Some sacrifice outlets. We got some +1/+1 counter synergies, some Voltron cards, and then unblockable stuff. A bunch of one-off cards, the meme build, and then the 99. And we're gonna hop into this right with the combo. We're going Ashnod's Altar, Nim Deathmantle. This lets you infinitely sack Drizzt and his token just over and over and over again. You don't actually net anything out of it, but with another piece like Alter the Brood, you will be able to mill all your opponents out. So that seems pretty decent. That seems like a pretty decent effect there. You can win the game off that. And then some of the big creatures that would work really well in this deck. They're big creatures that have low CMC or can be cheated into play, so that way you can get the sack trade, like they can die and then you get a bunch of counters. So creatures like Phyrexian Dreadnought, Force of Savagery, Phyrexian Soul Gorger, Galta, Groundbreaker, Primeval Protector, and Crash of Rhino Beetles all seems pretty good in this deck. All those cards seem like they'll put in a lot of work, and they can make Drizzt very big very quickly. Next up, we're going to talk about the Sac Outlets. So you can sack one of these big creatures to one of these Sac Outlets, so that way you make Drizzt bigger. There's a lot of good Sac Outlets, including like the staple Sac Outlets being Ashnod's Altar, which I already mentioned, Phyrexian Altar, and Altar Dementia. Fantastic cards there. But there are some better Sac Outlets for this specific deck, being Greater Good, which seems amazing in this deck, Life's Legacy, and Momentous Fall. All those can draw you a ton of cards, which seem great. Great includes. Next up, we're on to the +1/+1 counter synergies. The Ozolith seems amazing in this deck because that way the counters don't go away if Drizzt dies, and you can make him bigger again. It seems very good. Obviously, Doubling Season, Branching Evolution, and Primal Vigor seem like auto includes because of the fact that you're getting the extra doubling up the counters, plus Doubling Season and Primal Vigor will make it so you get double tokens, and that token, one of those tokens is going to have to die to state-based actions because it's a legendary token, and that means that you're losing a creature with 4 power, so Drizzt will get 1/+1/+1 counter on it right away, and with either of those cards, that'll double it to 2 counters. Awesome. So he'll just enter as a 5/5. That seems fantastic. You've also got Evolution Sage, just so you can proliferate on landfall. You're in green, you'll be ramping a lot with Kodama's Reach and Cultivate and stuff like that, so that seems great. Abzan Falconer and Bramblewood Sovereign provide some evasiveness or just running over stuff, so that way you can get damage in. That seems great. And then Conclave Mentor and Hardened Scales seem like a good way to just increase the number of counters. Just good includes there. Next up, we're going to talk about some Voltron cards, because this will make a very good Voltron commander. It's already a 3/3 double strike, which is really good, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So you can just slap some equipment onto this thing, and it can get scary. So some equipment that would work really well in the deck are Commander's Plate, Hammer of Nazan, Shadow Spear, any of the swords. I'll show some of them now. take a good look at them. And some of them now. They're all very good. All the swords are very good. And if there's more than there now. But yeah. Okay. Basilisk Collar. Seems fantastic in the deck. Lightning Greaves. Just a good way to keep your Drizzt safe. Same thing with Swiftfoot Boots. And Argentum Armor, because that just seems sweet. And then some really good utility cards that work well in a Voltron style deck. You've got Sigarda's Aid, Pure Steel Paladin, Stoneforge Mystic, Stonehewer Giant, Leonin Shikari, SRAM, Armored Sky Hunter, Open the Armory, and Steel Shaper's Gift. Auto includes right there if you're building Voltron. Next up is kind of goes well with the Voltron stuff, but also just it's going to go well in the deck no matter what, because Drizzt's just going to keep getting big. So no matter how you build the deck, some unblockable stuff seems very good. So stuff like Hot Soup, Trailblazer's Boots, Whisper Silk Cloak, and Rogue's Passage should be auto includes. Now we're going to go through the one-off cards. Berserk seems like an amazing card in this deck. So you can just double the power of one of your creatures, swing in for a huge amount of damage, sack the creature at end of turn, Drizzt gets huge. Or you can use it on one of your opponent's creatures, so they have to sacrifice a very scary creature, and Drizzt still triggers because it's whenever a creature dies. So you'll be able to get a ton of counters that way. And Berserk will actually act as a removal spell with upside, which is really interesting in this deck. That seems like an auto include in this deck no matter how you build it. Next up we got Death's Presence. Whenever a creature you control dies, put X+1/+1 counters on target creature, where X is the power of the creature that died. So you stack the triggers, so that way you put the counters on Drizzt because of Drizzt's ability first, and then you add a Death's Presence counters, and then he just gets huge and scary and terrifying, and it's awesome. You've got Wildwood Scourge and Enduring Scale Lord. Both of these will just continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger as Drizzt does. And if you have them both in play, then you can make them each infinitely big, which seems really nice. And then if you sacrifice one of them, then Drizzt becomes infinitely big. So that's also very nice. Some others, you've got Hydra's Growth, just a way to double the number of counters on Drizzt. Colonian Hydra, same thing. Ulvenwald Tracker, he's going to get pretty big, so this way you can actually just kill things with him. Plus, it will let you kill things, and that can make Drizzt bigger. Seems good. Forgotten Ancient. It's just gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you can move the counters from it to Drizzt to deal a lot of extra damage. That seems great. And Selvala, you're playing a lot of big creatures, so this can give you card draw, and it can tap for a ton of mana. That seems like an auto include in the deck. Next up, we're on to the meme build. So the meme build for this deck that I thought of is actually just Hydra Tribal. Because Hydras, I think, will work very well in this deck. It keeps with that +1/+1 counter synergy, so you can add more of those cards to the deck. And they just end up being very big creatures, so when they die, Drizzt will get really big. It seems like a good way to build the deck. It's different, and it seems interesting. So some of these specific Hydra cards that you could use include Unbound Flourishing and Elementalist's Palette. Both those seem pretty great in the deck. And some Hydras that you can throw in the deck include Gargos, Hungering Hydra, Voracious Hydra, Steelbane Hydra, Vastwood Hydra, Lifeblood Hydra, Primordial Hydra, and Hooded Hydra. There's a lot of other Hydras you can throw in this deck. You can also throw in mana doublers, so that way you can just have a ton of mana, so you can dump it all into the Hydras like Mirari's Wake and Doubling Cube, stuff like that. Seems like a good include. And last category, in the 99. So Drizzt is kind of a weird card to put into a deck. I couldn't really find a lot of good spots for him, but I found a couple that seemed pretty good. You got Shauna, because she gets bigger with the more creatures you have, and this is 2 creatures in 1 card, so that's not bad. Marisi, because Drizzt is going to hit hard, and his token has Trample, so you can use that token to pretty easily get in damage that we can goad somebody. And Jacques Levert. Interesting card here, but it just kind of makes it so the token is actually viable. Like, it's not just going to be able to attack once and then die. It'll actually be able to stick around a little bit. Plus, it makes Drizzt bigger. Like, it just seems like a good card. Instead of 5 mana adding a 5/5 and a 4/1, it's 5 mana adding, or 5 mana, Instead of 5 mana adding a 3/3 and a 4/1, it's 5 mana adding a 3/5 and a 4/3. That seems pretty good. So if anyone happens to have a Jacques Levert deck, this seems like a good card in it. And that is everything I have for Drizzt Do Erden. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Peace out, everybody.